This past week has been the hardest week of my life. Now, the hardest month of my life was July 2018, but that's a whole nother story. So if you're going through the ringer, know that you're not alone. But I want to tell you about during some of the hardest times where I literally did not think I was even going to make it. The lessons that I learned from the universe were so big. And I even had a couple magical moments. So we'll talk about all that today on EARTH1111. Please comment below what you're experiencing to help others as well. Because know that if you're feeling just so raw, so vulnerable, that's okay. Because it means that you are moving to a brand new level. We are up leveling. Like I talked about many times before, this is a massive portal. We are moving through everything, purging away anything that can't come through the eye of the needle with us. Remember, diamonds are created through pressure. Now, of course, the whole world is going under so much change right now as well that we got to feel. But this week was so deep for me because of quite a few things. Of course, I do a lot of purging for the collective. A lot was going on as we up level. Now, we've been going through some of the deepest core traumas. So if you've been through the ringer, that's okay. Know that you are embodying more of yourself. Most people walk around completely out of their body, avoiding all of these nooks and crannies that are holding on to absolute hell within the body. These traumas, these wounds, all the pain, all the emotion that they just force down. Because that's what we've been told, right? That's the way that society has been created. No one can deal with their own stuff, which is why we have a world that's absolutely crazy. Everyone is suppressed. Everyone is, completely tuned into some device, completely numbed out. No one wants to deal with a thing. They want everybody out there, some expert, to save them. So we are feeling a lot of the collective stuff as well, like I mentioned. When you start embodying the solar rishi levels, so for myself, I come from the blue ray, or we can call this the Emerald Founder Grail lines. Now, that is the 15th dimension, really, which is one level, from source. So we get to heal every level below, right? And so everyone, of course, is embodying at different levels. So we get to do a lot of the collective uprising. So when there is a huge movement into a brand new space, into a brand new timeline, a lot of people, of course, don't do their own healing yet. And so we get to clear away a lot of the shadow, the trauma, the deepest, darkest stuff for others. Right? Because the more you embody, the more that we support others, right? With more power, more responsibility, right? So a lot of people, of course, like to talk about all the fantastical things. They like to, right, travel the world and talk about all the ETs and all the cool stuff. And so if you're wondering how they can do that when you can barely get off the couch, your ascension symptoms are so major, you're just going through it. Know that you are embodying so many levels beyond these other people, right? Anyone that can just go around talking about stuff is not doing the inner work, right? And so know that if you feel so raw, just so vulnerable right now, then that's okay, because it means that you're getting to a brand new level of yourself. You're uncovering a new level that's been stuck down so deep. So know that you're okay, and we're all going through this together as well. So of course, everything likes to hit all at once, because I've also been having massive personal family issues also uprising within me for quite a few months actually now, but last week was absolutely just the overload level with all the other stuff going down. Of course, the collective, freaking out, things like that. And so in my personal life, not to get into too much, but my brother-in-law isn't doing very good, and he has 3 young children. And just the absolute, pain that they're going through, and my sister, and it is really mirroring the exact same scenario that happened when I was a kid. You know, her kids are almost the exact same age that me, my sister, and brother were when my dad was dying at only age 36. And so it was really just uprooting a lot of the deepest core traumas that I suppressed from that time when I was young. And of course, right, I've dealt with so many things, right? I spent years bawling my eyes out, right, getting rid of energy. But there's always more. As we up level, we reach deeper levels of things. So know that if you've had just the hardest week where you just can't stop crying, like for me, I probably cried hysterically about 100 times. And during this past week, there was about 3-4 days where I literally couldn't take a deep breath. And that is absolutely scary. And I come from also my background as well. When I was a kid, I had asthma, which a lot of indigos and starseeds actually do have asthma or other health issues. And so it was a trauma, of course, in my life that I could never take a breath as well through many times. It was a trauma that was ongoing throughout my life for many years that was being triggered. And so if you ever get to that point, right, I was hitting some absolute root core, deepest stuff. And you just get into that part of you. You're literally uncovering a part of you that has been feeling that pain forever. But like I said, most people exist way far out of their body that they don't touch on that until something comes up that triggers it. So, of course, all the stuff going down out there, as well as a total uprising to a brand new level of ascension, where we're purging away so many layers. And then, of course, my own personal family issues going on really just triggered some of the darkest stuff for me. And when you're in that, it was very easy for me to feel, right, just that fight or flight. There was quite a few times I didn't think I was going to make it. And I surrendered to that. I didn't think I was going to be here. And I've had this happen before. So like I said, in 2018, when I was going through the absolute ringer, that was the beginning of my solar rishi stage, which I had no idea about any of this stuff. So again, I'll get into that in probably in a brand new video. But I do talk about more of these things in my course. If you guys are interested, take my course Ascension Magic for a lot more info. But in 2018, when I was going through the darkest moments of my life, I felt like I was absolutely abandoned by spirit. And I felt like, you know, I was left to be attacked and to be absolutely eaten alive by the darkest stuff. So again, I didn't have an understanding of what was going on at the time. But through that month of being in absolute hell, I think definitely a piece of me got walled off as well, right? Because every time we have something else closes, right? We have a blockage, we have some type of trauma. And because I was going through the absolute darkest moments of my life back then, and I felt like I had been, for many, many decades, been trying to help this world, right? I do everything I can to try to help humanity and uplift this planet and bring, right, bridge New Earth into this reality for others. And so last week, when I was in those moments where it was days upon days, I actually couldn't even lay down for about 2-3 nights, because when I laid down, I couldn't breathe even more. And so, of course, if that ever happens to you, and you know, there was just so much backlog in here, in the heart and the solar plexus. It was just like so much pressure. I was doing everything I can. I was doing breath work. I was doing saging. I was dancing. I was trying to do anything I could to release this area. But nothing really got down to the core. And so I couldn't lay down for days. And I couldn't take a breath when I was even standing up. I was in that fight or flight. My heart was under so much pressure. And so in those moments where I just was like absolutely in that trauma, right? Because this is probably a trauma I had from when I was a kid. Also, when I was born into trauma, right? So as I talked about lots of times in this on this channel, we choose some of the darkest family lines with a lot of trauma, with a lot of issues to heal. So a lot of us are healing, right? We choose some of family lineages that have a lot of things that they have suppressed, that they've gone through, major tragedies. And so, of course, on both sides of my family, no one's dealt with a thing, is pretty much where it stands. And so I was dealing with a lot of stuff, of course, there. And when I was born, I was a forceps baby. And then I was dropped on the ground within seconds of being born. You know when they weigh you and they take your measurements when you're first born? Oh yeah, the nurse just let me roll off that table onto the ground. So within seconds of being born, forceps first of all, then falling on the ground. Then the next night when my mom and dad took me home, the crib that they put together wasn't put together properly, and so the mattress sunk. And so my head was shoved in there, and that was actually my near-death experience that I underwent within literally 24 hours of being born. So talk about trauma straight off the hop, right? So I've always, right, I realize I've always been in the state of fight or flight. I've never been able to sleep very well, never been able to ground, never been able to relax. And I can see why, just from day one, and of course I had many other things happen. But whatever this was, so of course, when you're in that moment of just, you are going to die type of feeling, I felt absolutely abandoned by spirit, that I'm doing everything I could and nobody is helping me. Nobody was helping me shift to release this energy, to do anything. And I felt, so again, this is probably going back to July 2018 when I was going through this for a whole month straight. And it probably as well been an issue over the past 4 years where I have felt like I've been on my own. I do things manually. I do a lot of the stuff, right? Because when we embody, we become the masters, the ascended masters. And not all the kind of fake ones that are, right, those typical ones that people channel. Those are just 5D non-masters, let's say. But we become the absolute masters. And so we do a lot of the stuff ourselves. Now, as well, this block that, of course, was created in July 2018 definitely has allowed me to, have that belief that I have been alone and isolated over many years now during my ascension path, because it's been absolutely hard. This is why I do these videos for you guys, because back then when I was going through so many things, I didn't have anybody that could help me, right? I went to healers. I went to all these different, right, shamans. I went to all these different people. I took massive amounts of workshops and courses, and nobody understood what I was going through, because the embodiment process is an advanced level that most people, right, most people that are doing shamanic work or healing work are only using either second dimensional, maybe third, fourth, or fifth dimensional tops energies. When we're embodying levels beyond the 12th dimension, nobody out there really has a lot of information. And so back then I had no information, right? And so I felt like I was alone, which is why I really work hard, even though I'm exhausted half the time. I work hard to always make sure I can give you guys these videos, because I know that for me, being able to at least have, right, some information can really help you on your journey, because it can be absolutely the hardest, scariest thing of your life. It is also the most amazing. Remember, it's not all bad. These are things that are coming up and out of you. So the ascension process is not bad. It's just when we bring in more of ourselves, more of the artificial parts of us have to come out. Okay, so know that. So for me, I was absolutely... Oh, and by the way, if you want more daily updates, make sure you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and also, if you're not on those, go to my website, because I post my blog and all different types of short videos there as well. I don't post many on YouTube, so make sure you guys, if you want more updates, more energy updates, things like that, then check me out on those platforms. And my website is EARTH1111.com. Okay, so in those moments when I was horrible, my dear friend Trent, who has absolutely been my rock for a lot of my life here lately when I've been just through the ringer. He's been a really good source for me. He actually helped me to really calm down in those moments. He actually massaged me a bit. So massage is key as well if you're going through it. Now, in those moments where I was hyperventilating for days, he was like, tell yourself, you know, I can breathe deeply. My lungs are 100%. Right? All these different things that I know, that I've known for years. But when you're in that trauma, when you're in the deepest, darkest point of your life, when you have activated a part of you, it's, right, all those things go out the window. You're just trying to survive the moment. And it can be absolutely the scariest moments, right? And so all the things we should do, we know, go out the window. So he really, really helped me in those moments. So thank you, Trent. And he has amazing articles. Go on my website, EARTH1111.com, because he has a group on there, Healers of the World, and he writes articles on his blog there. So follow him there. You can register for free on my website, EARTH1111.com. So again, Healers of the World, check it out. He has amazing information that you guys would definitely benefit from. And like I said, he has taught me so much as well. But in that moment, instead of being in that fight or flight, I had to shift. I had to do it. And I just kept saying it over and over and over again. I am safe. I am safe. And I felt it over and over. And finally, after about half an hour of me saying these things, that I can breathe deeply. Remember, we are manifestors, instant manifestors. We create our reality. And so, of course, when we're getting those moments where we are in it, it's hard to remember that. But know that you tell your body what's up. You tell your reality what's up. So I started saying, right, over and over and over, and I calmed down a bit. And within a few minutes, I had my light team show up, which I haven't really had for a long time, because right, when we embody, all your guides and all your higher aspects go away. And it's because they don't go away, they actually integrate into you. You integrate them, and you are able to then fully merge with them. You become them. So they feel like they go away. So again, this happened in 2018, shortly before this all happened. And so I felt like I've been going along this whole time, because you become the singularity. You become the unified field. So they're actually here within you, but they feel like they're gone. So I just perceive now all my light team as spirals, geometry, grids, right? Because when you become the higher levels, there's no more metaphors of what these beings are as kind of like humanoid. You start perceiving them as their real, the reality, which is shape-shifting geometrical patterns of light. Okay, my camera died, which always in divine order, because I actually had a few more magical things that I experienced over the last few days. So when I was talking about my worst week of my life, it wasn't this week, it was last week. So the last few days have actually been quite a bit lighter. We're still clearing away a lot of the astral realm things. So it's just, right, it's a constant alignment and a constant clearing. So you have to maintain in every moment your highest frequency. As soon as you drop down, then the lower thought forms, the lower demonic entities, darkness, lower emotions of the world and of the collective can attach onto your fields. So the key is spiritual hygiene 101. Okay, now, and if you want a video on that, let me know and I can do a video on that in the future. Okay, so let's get into now my magical moments. So when I was going through, like I said, my 3-4 days of absolute hell, now when I actually shifted myself and told myself over and over, I can breathe. My lungs are operating at 100%. I'm clearing any blockages preventing me from breathing. I can breathe easily and effortlessly. I have lots of room to breathe, right? All these different things. I am safe. All these different things, when I said them over and over again, it took about 30 minutes. All of a sudden, I had some of my light team, let's say, show up as white light. And all of a sudden, I just got blasted with this white plasma light of healing. And I immediately got freezing cold, which I can always tell is plasma energies, because magnetic energy is cold. Electric energy is hot. So that's kind of how you know. Sometimes you'll go through like those hot flashes and other times freezing to the bone. So I immediately got calm from this healing light. And I got calm enough to fall asleep. Now, the second I fell asleep was the magical moment. So it was interesting. Spirit knows that, right, I've experienced many things that nothing really phases me anymore. So Spirit wanted to make sure that I knew loud and clear that not only am I divinely protected and taken care of by the universe, they wanted to give me a clear sign of that. So as soon as I fell asleep, in my dream, so I was in some house or some room with a few people, and I immediately looked up and saw a UFO going by. And it was quite low. And I immediately called over whoever's in the room with me, and I called them over and I said, come check it out. It's a UFO. And I saw another UFO come right close, literally feet above my home. It was my home in the dream, wherever I was. And this thing was huge. And immediately the arms opened up of it. Let's say like that. And it came through the ceiling and ended up shrinking down to a tiny little, let's say, craft or whatever. And I woke up. So it's interesting. I see UFOs every couple days. So for me, it's nothing new to see light ships, things like that. Now, they're not metal. So it's interesting. In my dream, it was kind of more of a physical looking ship and not so much just a Merkaba light ship. Because remember, when we see higher beings, when we see light ships, if you're seeing, those typical metal flying saucers, those are going to be typically the lower, the lower, more negative aliens, or, probably militarized from the military, these crafts. But real light ships are actually, they're not physical. They are made of plasma. They are Merkaba light ships. So the Merkaba vehicle, which is literally what we are, that's our light body that's coming on board. So we develop the Merkaba, and we're able to, move beyond dimensions, to fly around, to teleport. So these are things that will be happening in your actual reality in this lifetime. That's how magical and amazing it is. So the reason why Spirit wanted to not only have this ship come right into my room with me in the dream, but they wanted to make sure that I saw loud and clear something, major like a UFO, very detailed, because, like I said, I deal with a lot. And so when I sleep, I'm dealing with spirit, with light beings, with, different types of things all night long. So it's kind of nothing new if Spirit would have appeared to me as a light being or an angel type being. So that's why they wanted to give me that, loud and clear sign that this is, this light ship, this UFO is coming, not only just appearing up there in the sky, but came right down into my reality, into my field. So again, that was a really cool, and it's one of those dreams, that's real. So how some dreams feel really, really real and vivid is one of those dreams. So that was kind of the first magical moment. Now, a couple days later, maybe 2 days later, I want to talk about something even more magical. So I had a dream that I was flying. Now, I've had flying dreams in the past before. But typically they were just flying dreams. I've also become orbs in dreams before, where I became an orb. I flew over top of this like resort holiday type place, you know, maybe something like Hawaii or something. And I all of a sudden kind of went over the cliff, and there was two women that saw me, and their faces looked all freaked out and shocked. So I knew it was like I had actually become an orb, and this was happening in reality, even though I was dreaming. Now, those dreams that I've had in the past where I was flying, things like that, right, that was me flying as kind of separate from the physical. Now, this flying dream, it was me mastering my Merkaba field. So your Merkaba is your light, like I said, your light body. So the Merkaba vehicle is your ability to fly, to teleport. And in the dream, I was completely aligning my Merkaba to an extreme of perfection, to the point where I started hovering, levitating, and flying up in the sky. And what was interesting, so it was like the most freeing, magical experience almost of my life, because like I said, I've had flying dreams before, but this was an absolute mastering of all of my alignment of my light body. So it was almost like teaching me how to do it in real life, because it was the exact same dynamics that I'm always adjusting, right? Because I'm always adjusting my vertical alignment, my horizontal alignment, you know, always flapping my wings. We actually create, right, during the embodiment stage, we develop many levels of wings. Now, wings aren't what they really, right, they're not just wings. These are, you know what? You have to take my course for more on that, because I talk about that more in the course, but we will have many different layers of these. What they are is they are alignments of your light body. Because your light body, like I said, it's not just some, you know, light. It is powerful electrical and magnetic currents running through. These are kundalini currents. You can watch my video, my last video that I've talked about, where I talk more about the actual kundalini currents going through your body. Because it's not just, you know, some light. It is powerful. It is your nervous system recoding itself to becoming higher and higher levels of matter. You go from carbon to then semi-carbon, semi-crystalline, to then pure crystalline, then pure plasma, which is hydroplasma liquid light. Then you go even beyond light, and you become pure grid sound fields. So again, this is the process of embodiment, and you will actually experience that as your reality. Your matter changes. You get less and less dense. So again, take my course for more on that. But yes, so in my reality, I'm constantly adjusting my alignment, my fields, all of these kundalini currents going through me, my Merkaba, right? My many levels of Merkaba. It's not just one. We also develop many levels. So each state of matter, we develop a new Merkaba vehicle. So in this dream, I had perfected the same feeling that I feel all day long as when I'm awake. I had perfected this Merkaba, and I essentially completely detached from gravity, which we always are once we move, you know, beyond the false magnetic fields of the planet. So again, this happens at around the level of the oversoul and the beginning of the avatar level, but it's about perfecting it, and it takes many years of absolute mastery. So in this dream, I had absolutely mastered every molecule. So it's literally about perfecting every single quantum aspect of yourself, every quantum atom, let's say, to spin in alignment, in perfection. I started floating, and I started flying and going up and up and up. And it was the most magical experience that I've had in a long time. Way more than any aliens and stuff and UFO things, because like I said, it's not something I really think about, care about, worry about too much, you know, galactic things. Because like I said, it's my usual life. It's been like that for so many years. And I've been, you know, zoomed up on light ships, things like that, which you can watch in my other videos. Or, like I said, I go into a lot more detail in my course about a lot of things. So take my course Ascension Magic if this all resonates with you and you want to know more. So when I zoomed up and I was flying, it was interesting because other people in the dream didn't like it, and they started shooting, let's say, frequency nets, or I essentially started getting like, how to explain it? Like, I was kind of like, my perfect field got disrupted by whoever was in the dream that didn't like that I was flying. And I fell down from a high level, and I landed on the ground pretty hard, but I didn't even wake up. That was the key, right? Normally we would wake up when we were falling out of the sky and we smash and land on the ground, because I landed hard in the dream, but I continued the dream. And then I was in another scene and I started doing it again. Got all my Merkaba completely aligned in perfection, started floating again, started flying again. The same thing happened again. I got kind of attacked by whoever was in the dream, and my Merkaba, right, it's super hard to maintain when we're in a world with a lot of artificial frequencies and a lot of, right, the polarized energy that doesn't want people to get beyond, where, right, they want everyone locked down, controlled, right? So again, I wasn't in fear about it. It was more just kind of an indication that I'm going to fly, and there will be resistance to it. There will be other people, beings, darkness out there that wants to stop me. But in the dream, I wasn't worried about that. It was more just, right, I fell down again, but then I was just, right, I would realign myself back up again. So it was back to the whole thing again of there will be so much resistance to you getting to your highest potential, highest possible consciousness level. Because consciousness isn't just consciousness and your body's just still here. We're recoding, spiritualizing the physical with higher and higher and higher aligned, beautiful geometry patterns of source, God, creator, universal energy. So we're going beyond polarization. So again, it's a many year process. You're not just going to all of a sudden start flying. But when I woke up, it was interesting. I felt so much more aligned, because this dream also allowed my energy to be a lot more aligned. So a lot of the backlog, like I said, that I was going through, the absolute astral, God knows what, that I was clearing for the collective that was backlogged, creating all types of reversals in my fields, especially in my heart area, because of course that's the astral realm, is your heart chakra. And the higher heart chakra, right? So that's the collective that we're clearing for a lot of people. Now, it really helped me to be so much more aligned when I woke up. It was just, I had shifted from pure hell, that I had really been experiencing for close to a week, to woke up and I felt so much more aligned, so much more clear, so much more empty, just completely in alignment, excited for life finally again. It was a complete shift. So I asked my intuition, spirit, am I going to be able to fly in this physical reality someday? And the answer was yes, in about 3 years' time. So it will take me about 3 years to completely lock in the level where I'm not, right, constantly adjusting and expanding and contracting and essentially, right, clearing the collective over and over again, where I can stabilize my fields enough where every single quantum particle of myself will be aligned, where I can start mastering the ability to probably first start levitating and then start flying. So you have to realize, right? And so I know you're probably thinking, oh God, Roxy's gotten crazy. Remember, we are subjected to false magnetism on this planet, false gravity. We are not meant to be locked down like this. And as things clear, as the entire magnetic fields of this planet change and shift, you get lighter and lighter and lighter. So for those of you that are already embodying, you are already feeling that almost like it's hard to get into your body. It's right, like you've already released gravity. Now it's just a matter of bringing down that energy more and more and more. So instead of being out of your body, but bringing that spiritual, all your levels of your highest levels of consciousness into your physical, recoding every single molecule of your existence, and then your physical body can fly. So that is how exciting it is. I know that I've always known for many years that I'm going to teleport in this life. Can you imagine teleporting? No borders, no having to jump on a plane to go places. So that's always been something I've always known that someday, and that was kind of my main goal, someday I want to teleport, right? Of course, we're here to save the world. We're here to uplift humanity. We're here to recode the entire grids, right? We're here to dissolve all the false magnetism, the false reversals, everything, right? Transmute every bit of darkness for the collective. But it's time for fun. So, teleportation, yes, you can achieve that in this lifetime. Of course, it takes absolute mastery. You have to master every particle of your existence. Right? Most people fly, most people are hanging around, not even in their body. First, you need to get into your body. That takes many years. Right? It takes many years of healing all these different distortions so you can get into your body, recode your body to higher levels of matter. So flying also is going to be able to be done in this lifetime. So exciting. Now, time travel. You're already doing it. Every time that you are moving into higher consciousness and lower consciousness, more newer timelines, you're seeing, right, all of a sudden your reality is shape-shifting. Oh, you drop down and everything starts crashing down and people are psychotic out there. That is time travel. We are moving to future versions of Earth, past versions of Earth, right? Because we're coming out of a dark eon, things that are, right, when we enter essentially a version of Earth we don't want, we have moved into the past. We have locked ourselves down into a lower state of consciousness. This is the past. We're coming out of that absolute horrible, many, many thousands of years of darkness. So when you're moving into higher states of consciousness, you're moving into the future, literally. And then you get beyond, when you move into complete 0 point, we even get beyond time altogether. And that is when we move into completely 0 point. We embody the entire 15-dimensional universal time spiral. We get beyond time. We exist, literally, in 0 point. And yes, we can go into polarization, which is back into time. But when we are unified, we are actually out of time altogether. Things are about to get magical, everybody. It's all about you doing your individual healing work, individual mastery. So again, it takes many, many, many years. Tune out of all the garbage out there, because that is just sucking you back into a lower version of Earth, the past. Remember, we came from the future. A lot of us actually came from 0 point, from no time, to bridge this current state of the planet, this current version of Earth, into a future probability that is of absolute freedom and unity. This exact moment was the time in history of this planet where things started going wrong. Right? Of course, we've had negative things been going forever, but this was the point of no return. This is why we're here. We're here to clear away the timelines that brought a lot of humanity and the collective and different versions of Earth into complete control and suppression to the point of no return in the future. So again, when you get out of the whole creation, you can see the same thing as healing. When you move into the whole creation, you can see all the different times that created distortions in your fields, that created that trauma. So it's kind of like that, same thing as healing your own individual trauma. When we come from 0 point, so if you're watching this video, you are an indigo that comes from the future or even 0 point, and you're able. And so this is the thing. God Source Consciousness was able to locate the exact time in the history of this evolution of this planet that hit the point of no return, where a lot of the collective was no longer able to continue its evolution, and it started de-evolving. And to the point where the future version of Earth, where those people that are choosing to de-evolve through things like allowing technology into their bodies, or allowing, right, themselves to be in complete fear, to check out, to numb themselves, right? Those people in the future have gotten to the point where they were not able to evolve any longer as a soul. So this was the turning point. This is why we're here. You know, you have all the answers within yourself. You know what to do. You know your mission. We are all, right? We hold it within our DNA. Our absolute missions for this planet and for this time, for this timeline, for your lifetime. So follow that internal guidance. Tune out of the absolute BS out there. Because we can not only just elevate this planet to a higher timeline, but we can fly, literally. When the magnetic fields of this planet, the false magnetic fields of this planet, that create the poison apple distortions, right? The false magnetic field caused from things like the moon, that is a false satellite, right? All these things, when we are realigning the planet back to its original alignment, and not where we've been aligned to for many years, which is aligning to really a fallen system that is feeding off of us, that is siphoning energy off of people. Why do you think they have constant fear non-stop out there? Right? They are force feeding fear into the collective through movies, music, through constant news, through everything. That's because they siphon off people's energy and they bring them into a lower state. Well, this is a fallen black hole system. So again, there's many different we can call dark avatars, dark ETs that are actually creating this. And it's been going on for millions of years. It's not just, a couple dudes on the planet that are doing this. They come out of those matrices that are dark, that have fallen, that are black hole systems of, right, reversals. They are not existing in the organic creational DNA pattern. They are coming out of actual realities, actual DNA templates that are reversed. So again, watch my other video, Billion-Year-Old Evil, if you want to know more on this. But know that you came here for an absolute huge purpose. So get on with it. We need you. We need everyone to step it up. But know that in this lifetime, you can teleport. You can fly. You have absolutely no restrictions. We came here during the absolute most exciting time in the history of this planet. And again, I'm not saying you leave your body and go on an astral trip. You don't want to do that. I'm talking about your physical reality recoded, where your physical body is no longer subjected to the false magnetic fields of this planet and the false gravity. That is how you become an absolute master. When you like to teleport, fly, be absolutely sovereign and free, it can all be done in this lifetime. So get on it. Oh, and my third magical thing that I had actually was that day after I flew in my dream, I went to this park that I always go to. And actually the last 5 or 6 times I've been there in the past month or two, I have always seen humpback whales. They are always there. And they should be long gone. They should be actually south right now, because they migrate back south during the wintertime. And so once again, I had a magical moment where a humpback and its baby, even had a little baby there, appeared right before me. Now, I didn't have my camera on me, but I did have my camera on me for other times that I will post for you guys to see. But humpback whales, like other whales, are actually grid workers. They are 15-dimensional beings. They come from the 15-dimensional matrix they are grid workers. That's why they migrate and they feed and they move along grid lines of the planet, the axiotonal lines or the ley lines of the planet. So they have been helping me so much right now with my grid work. So it was another indication. Like I said, this is about 5 or 6 times that I've been to this exact location, and every single time in the past, say, 6 weeks, since I've been back from Calgary, they appeared to me. Really close too. So they are totally showing me that they are here helping me and helping the planet to clear the grids, to solidify and anchor in the highest energies for everybody. So whales are magical, just like other animals. But yeah, many, many, many magical moments. So again, since then, it's been quite a bit. So on the 22nd of November, there was another right, it was heavy. There was, right now, you know what, I'm going to do another video on it, but you have to understand that as we have more light, the darkness is festering. It's because the darkness is being cleared out of where it's been for all eternity. And it's looking for new places to be, right? So it's looking for homes. It wants people in low consciousness to attach onto. So it's about you maintaining your highest state. And that was my problem. I went down to such a low state of absolute fear for my life. No wonder it got worse than it ever had to be, right? So it didn't have to get that freaking heavy. But again, right, it's all a learning process. Even though I've known these things forever, we're always constantly evolving. So we will learn lessons. And when you choose to be at your highest state of consciousness and embodiment ever, it's absolute mastery 24 hours a day. It's not just you hang out, right? There's no time for hanging out. It's about maintaining that highest state of consciousness 24 hours a day, because you are constantly, so especially in 0 point. So when I entered 0 point in 2017, that is when you are constantly demanifesting and manifesting, right? Because you are merged completely the antimatter with the matter. So you are constantly dissolving reality around you and recreating it. So it's a constant breathing of demanifestation and manifestation. So it takes an absolute mastery to stay in your 0 point. Trust me, it's hard work. I've been exhausted for many years, and of course we clear a lot of the collective. So we're constantly doing work on all 15 dimensions of reality. When you become all 15 dimensions of reality embodied. So that's how magical it is. Again, the lessons learned, stay in your highest frequency to prevent yourself from going down to the darkest levels of hell, right? If you stay above that, then those things can't touch you, right? There's a lot of stuff clearing right now, the darkest, dingiest stuff. And they're looking for places, right? So if you're not in those energies, if you're not in those levels of darkness, if you don't let yourself get to that level, then you're immune to it. They can't touch you. So again, if you're holding artificial frequencies in your body, if you're holding trauma, then those things can attach onto you, because they can attach onto anything that's at the same frequency level as them. Okay, so it is key and imperative. Don't do what I did, right? Always have those constant commands for your reality. Constantly reaffirm that you are safe. Constantly, right? It has to be a constant. Your mind is going to either bring you up or bring you into a black hole, right? And so when you're in that fight or flight stage, it really has to be about you mastering yourself in that exact moment. So again, for more tips, take my course Ascension Magic, and don't forget to register on my site EARTH1111.com for free, and follow Trent's page or Trent's group, Healers of the World. He has amazing content, and like I said, he really helped me through a lot of times where I was absolutely terrible. So definitely support him as well. And yeah, if all this resonates with you guys, definitely don't go blind. Don't do what I did, right? There's help out there. So again, my course will walk you through from step by step, from beginner to advanced levels of ascension and what's going on in the world, because the world out there is also important. What's going on in the world, what's going on within your life, what's going on within your body. All of it will make sense. So I'll put the link below in the description for Ascension Magic, my course. And also don't forget to subscribe, and I hope I deserved a thumbs up. Again, take care of yourself out there. Know that you are doing it. It's a step-by-step process of mastery, and it takes many years. So I love you guys. Don't forget to share the video with everyone you know. It can really help people right now when people are going through the ringer. I know, because I'm feeling a lot of the collective stuff. I transmute it, right? So a lot of people think that these energies just go away on their own. They go away because of grid workers that clear the fields constantly, and gatekeepers. So I love you guys. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to shine as bright as you can out there. Follow your inner heart and not everything else going on out there trying to take you off your path. I love you. I'm Roxanne. This has been EARTH1111. Bye-bye.